Welcome to KRA-KOOM. I'm Octavius and Ken, and today we are talking about X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 9, the season finale. And with me today to discuss that episode and pretty much the season, the whole Season 2 of X-Men
Yep.
97, is Ken, apparently Cyclops Sparks. Is that what's happening right now, Ken?
Yeah, I think that's the proper vibe to set for this type of discussion.
I mean, I myself have my own
Oh,
Cyclops
that's
moment
nice. I like
as
that.
well happening. Yeah, a little something unique happening here.
Hmm.
So, gang, everybody, thank you for joining us for this episode. If you have not subscribed to KRA-KOOM, what are you doing? Do it right now. Press the button on whatever platform you're listening to or watching this on. We are on Spotify. We are
Hmm.
on Apple Podcasts. We are on YouTube at KRA-KOOM, KRA-KOOM on YouTube. Follow us on the social media webs all over the place, KRA-KOOM_media. And this is going to be a spoiler show. If you have not watched X-Men 97, Season 1 and Season 2, all of the episodes, they're all up for grabs. We're going to be having a spoiler discussion. Here's the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's your fault. Now, Ken, we have seen an entire season of this show. We've
Yes, we
seen
have.
the first season and the second season, and we finally got that final episode. What's your gut reaction? And to kind of shape it, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
Well, I want to kind of build it up a little bit and then ask a question. I would like to talk about this. Yes, this is the season finale, but let's talk about the season also.
Yeah, for sure.
Did this season finale meet, exceed, or fall below your expectations of what you had coming into it?
Can I give a nuanced answer?
Listen, I would only expect nuance. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I will say by the end of the season, it met expectations, and
Okay.
those expectations were not good.
Oh.
Right. So after the first 4 episodes, oh man, this is great. This is awesome. The rest of the season, I was like, we're kind of prodding along. It's okay. So by the time we got to the season finale, I'm like, yeah, this is in line with what I was expecting with the season. I wasn't expecting it to go all the way back up in the season
Mm.
finale. It just kind of gave me this vibe where, okay, we're just kind of coasting now for the
Mm-hmm.
rest of the season. And then the season finale had good moments, but also kind of coasted as well. And it's kind of felt like, well, this is I've adjusted my expectations for this show at this point. This is kind of what I was expecting.
Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting. You've adjusted it, so it kind of seems like it landed where you expected it to end. But
Yeah.
well, I can speak for me on this. I went into X-Men 97 hype. Season 2
Same.
hype from season 1. You know what I mean? I'm excited. I'm worked up. I'm ready. What they did last time, I mean, as a fan of the original show from when I was a kid to come
Yep.
into it now, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. But we know there
Yeah.
was a bunch of drama. We know there was a bunch of back and
Bunch
forth,
drama.
like the showrunner and Bo DeMayo and all the rest of that kind of stuff. Part of what we were, at least I was coming into this thinking about is like, okay, can they continue this if Bo is not with the show anymore? Can they continue? Is the show, how much of the show is dependent upon the team that came into it originally? How much can they move forward? Whatever. And I got to tell you, man, those first 4 episodes, I was like, whoa, like this is better than the first season. Man,
Right.
they
Right.
really figured this thing out. And not only did they figure it out, like they are able to they picked up the ball and kept running with it. Really excited. I mean, we know, but alas,
Mm-hmm.
only a coward feels mighty when stepping on ants. Like that moment right there is just like tears for like, you know what I mean? Again, we said
Yeah.
spoilers. Magnus is go Magnus, like you know what I mean, like memes coming out of it,
Yeah.
threads and like TikToks and you know what I mean, all kinds of conversation, like all the things. So
Mm-hmm.
when we left that 4th episode, I mean, expectations were like it had exceeded my expectations. It had gone past what I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And then in the next episode, we go. I think we went with Logan. No, was that Danger Room? Oh, it
I
was
feel
with
like
Logan.
that was
It was the
no, that
Logan
was
episode.
Logan. Yeah.
Yep. And then we had a Danger Room episode. I got it right here next to me. So, yep. Then we had our Weapon X Lies and DVDs. That was episode 5. And then we
Mm-hmm.
went to the Danger Room episode, which was
Yep.
like, okay, this is interesting. And then
Right.
we had the Polaris stuff, and then the Strange Land, Savage Heart. That was the one with Nightcrawler and Colossus, and the whole discussion about um, how we should treat people who are treating us poorly and all that kind of, you know what I mean? And
Right.
finding out about Remy and the apocalypse, all that kind of stuff, and all this stuff is cool. But I'm kind of found myself being like, what, but in
Exactly.
episode 4, I thought we were going somewhere. I thought
Yeah.
you would like built me up to go somewhere. And after actually finishing this final episode, I was kind of like, okay, like, all right, like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's fine, but
Yeah.
it was below my expectations of what had been set up for the first 4 episodes, you know?
Right. So what I'll say is a couple of things. You said a couple of things that made me really think about why or how you can really tell that season didn't land as well as it did for other people as it did for us ourselves, right? One of the things that you mentioned was the memes. The memes we were getting from the first 4 episodes, they stopped kind of churning out towards the later episodes. I wasn't seeing as many notable quotables, as many memes, as many like big like cultural
Hmm.
moments and stuff like that.
There
You
were
saw
some, but not as
it,
many. Not as many.
right, and not only not as many, but not as significant. Some things were like,
Hmm.
oh, okay, all right. But also, I want to amend what I said before when I said like the first 4 episodes. I thought the first 5 episodes, including the Wolverine episode, I'm going to include the Wolverine episode. I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, man, this is great. And then we get to the Danger Room episode, which I didn't really see any signs of this thing becoming a mundane or bland after that, because in the first season we had the Mojo World episode. Every
Yeah.
season we have an episode where it's kind of like I personally did not care for the Mojo World episode. I don't care for Mojo in general.
Okay.
So like when I saw that, the Danger Room episodes, okay, that's fine. But what happened last season that didn't happen this season is that right after the Mojo World episode, we kind of swung back into the main crux of what we were doing here.
Yeah. Yeah.
These
Yeah.
last couple episodes were all, even like you mentioned the Nightcrawler episode where we're going to the Savage Land, Strange Heart in the Savage Land. That's a good episode in a
Yes.
20 episode season.
It's a good episode in a bottle almost. It's like
Right.
if you just take that piece and go,
Yeah.
if the comic book, you know what I mean, like
Right.
media must. If you just pick a
Yeah.
comic book off the shelf, you open it and you go, oh, that was a really interesting,
Yeah.
moment in these people's lives.
Exactly.
However, you just killed Magnus. You know
Right.
what I'm
You
saying?
just killed Magneto. Apocalypse
Like
is supposed to be this big deal. Where's
right.
he at? All these things that we were kind of like looking for. And that's what I mean by saying it's a good episode in a 20 episode season, because you can, in a 20 episode season, 22 episode season like we used to get, you can kind of say, oh, yeah, that was a good episode. We're eventually going to get back to the crux of the thing. But these are good episodes here and there. But when you have such limited real estate, when you have 9 episodes, at some point you got to get back to the main crux of the story. And that's where it kind of got, a little dicey for me towards the end, because even the New Orleans episode where we get Gambit back, there's some hope there that we'll get back to the main crux because Gambit's finally back and so on and so
Mhm.
forth. But who doesn't make an appearance? Apocalypse, and that's the person who, I don't want to say that's the person who we're here for, but that's the reason why we're here in the situation.
I
You know what I
mean,
mean?
I
He's the
think
catalyst.
I think to a certain extent, he is a major motivating reason in the story for why we are here. He's a major
Right.
plot point in why we are
Exactly.
invested, why we
Yeah.
care, why we are excited and clamoring for the next episode.
Yeah.
Like the impact and the fallout of what like just took place here. It's kind of like, what do we do next? And it seemed like even in that Danger Room episode, it was a little bit of like, oh, okay, we're dealing with some of like the consequences and repercussions of what Xavier has to do to deal with what he just went through.
Right.
His friend just passed away, but it seems that eventually it just kind of like meandered its way story wise from the story we
Right.
just left back to Remy, back to Rogue, back to Apocalypse. And I just feel like when someone, have you ever seen like a race, like especially a sprint, where someone's like,
Mm-hmm.
bah, and they just take, and you know what I mean? And they're just like burning everybody. And it's almost like they just hit that wall. And they're
Right.
just like, they still finished the race. They didn't finish last, but you thought they were going to smoke everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And then by the
Exactly.
time it's like, oh, they got third place. I mean, that's still
Yeah.
you're still an Olympic medalist. That's still
Right.
fantastic. But our expectations for the way you came out is just like, yo, this is going to be one of the best things ever.
Yeah.
So
And like, what were some of the things that we were missing towards the end of the season? Not a lot of Storm. Not a lot of Wolverine. Not a lot of Beast or Cyclops or Jean.
yeah,
Like we were missing a lot of the team where we had a lot of focus on Polaris, who's a nice character, is a good character, but no one who I would say, oh, I'm watching this for Polaris and
but that
Bishop.
wasn't
Like
what the
I
show was
like Bishop.
about. That wasn't what the
Yes,
show was about
exactly.
for the
Yeah,
past four episodes. That's not
right.
what you told us the story was about. You
Exactly.
know,
Where was the Scott? Like we wanted the conclusion or a resolution to Scott and Jean and Cable. We thought that by the end we would have a reunion of sorts, but even the reunion that we got was kind of like this is not the story that you were telling. This isn't
yeah.
this like now we're like, oh, we have to kill Gambit. Oh, okay. I understand why you would say that, but this isn't that's a footnote in the grand story, and you turn the footnote into the story, which kind of seems like what we're wasting real estate here, as I was saying before.
You know what's interesting about that point that you're making? Some of the major points from the first four episodes were one, X Force, X Factor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like there was that big moment. At the end, they're teamed up. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You just set up this huge contrast between like how we deal with things. Now they're on the same team because hey, we got to take out Gambit.
Right.
And now it's X Force and X Factor versus the X Men. And I'm just like, I mean, I can follow the story, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that it asks me to make a very big emotional jump to
Right.
go, yeah, because Apocalypse is in Gambit, so yeah, Cable's got to kill Gambit now, and now that
Yeah.
puts the X Men against Cable because you say so, and I'm
Right.
going, yeah, I mean, yeah, sure, if you say so, but
Yeah.
we just had this amazing moment where Jubilee is like breaking out and all that kind, you know what I mean, all of those moments that we had right there that really made us go, whoa, this is fantastic, and now it's kind of ended with a Top Gun sequence with Havoc and Jubilee,
Right.
which is
Which
which is
was
again,
I
which is
liked it. It was
cool.
cool.
It's cool, but it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, it just didn't seem as like impactful as the way they set it up.
Yeah.
Even the Scott, Jean, and Cable moment, where it's like we have to come together. We got to come together. Like, come on, Nathan, son, don't make me do this. I'm sorry, I
Right.
got to take him out. I got to take him out. And they did such a great job building up all of this emotional weight between them. Like, how come you didn't tell us the first time you came? And why didn't you? You know what I mean? There's all of this emotional weight between them. And the next time they get together, they rumbling and they're
Right.
just fighting. And then, okay, cool, because I got to kill Gambit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I think there's more, you know what I'm saying,
But
between them
yeah.
that's going on right there. Last thing I'm gonna say, because I mean we're
Mm-hmm.
kind of pointing out some issues here.
Yeah.
Um, we met this character. Remember in episode 8 where Gambit takes this jewel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forget that character's name. Like
Mm-hmm.
Apocalypse
I know
gave
who
her
you're talking about.
power. Yeah, and then now we summon her and like, you fool, you dare summon me? Like, sorry, lady, I gotta get that julep off you. And then like just stabs him and like, wait, hold on, wait a second. You
Yeah.
just killed this.
She just got here.
I'm not sure I understand the power dynamic and like how that happened. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, mon ami. Now I'm gonna give that to you, Cher. So now you jam it in Rogue's heart and chest. Why did you do that? What does that mean? Like,
What did it
I'm
do?
I'm going
I don't.
along with the story because you're telling me to, but I'm
Right.
going like, but why did you do that? And what's the significance of that?
Yeah.
I didn't get none of that. You know what I mean?
What did it do? I don't even remember. I don't recall what it specifically did for Rogue. Because the next time I saw Rogue, she was in front of a celestial. So, but yeah, like I think that there was a lot of disconnect towards the end of the series where it felt like at a certain point they were just doing stuff, and I think that that's really highlighted for me by one day, the Xavier Mansion is here, and the next day we're in X Corp, and I'm like, okay, like I thought at first, I'm like, okay, that's
Cool new
cool,
costumes. We love
new
those costumes from the
costumes,
comics. They
right?
fly. We like them.
And it reminded me of a complaint that I had or a critique I had of the last Mario movie, where at a certain point
Mm-hmm.
during the movie they just started doing stuff. It was like, oh yeah, remember this suit? Remember this thing? Remember this power up that you did? And it was just like an hour and a half of that, where no real substance or story in between it. I'm not saying that there's no substance here,
Yeah,
but
there
a
was
lot of
some. There
it's
was some.
yeah, a lot of it seemed to be like, hey, here's this cool thing and a little bit of substance, but they never followed up on the setup that they gave us. And
Yes.
I think the turning point was after the Wolverine episode, like we mentioned. And I'm wondering if that's where the rewrite started, if that's where
Mm-hmm.
the divergence from Bo DeMaio started. What do you think?
Mm-hmm. I think that at least that's the way I was processing it. It seemed like, man, that's powerful. We picked up right where it was almost like stick. Like they handed from season 1 to season 2, grabbed it, you know what I mean? Like same
Yeah.
speed. And at a certain point, it was almost like they pulled a hamstring and they were still kind of
Yeah.
hobbling to the finish line, and they
Hmm.
were still moving pretty fast with Wolverine. But after that, and then we got to the Danger Room episode, and then it just kind of started to, like, you can see a very clear decline of like, oh, we're not singing from the same hymnal right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
something has changed. Like I don't know what took place, but if I had to pick, if you were to say, hey man, pick where you think that like the story kind of started to separate, I think it's like after episode 4. Once
Yeah.
episode 5 came in, I think I could still see episode 5, which is the Wolverine episode, making sense because that was such an emotional weight for all of us.
Right.
I think I remember us even talking like, all right, I'll take a little X, you know what I mean, Team X escapade because that was
Hmm.
like, give me a
And
break.
even
I'll take that.
and even that was still substantive because it told us a lot about Wolverine and a
Yeah,
lot about his need for the
yeah,
claws back, his need to feel like Wolverine again in as
right.
smallest way I can say it. It was so impactful because you knew like he probably needs those for the end of the season. Whatever big conflict happens at the end of the season, he's probably going to need those. So it makes sense for us to spend a little bit of time with him getting his claws back, right? And
But
then after that, it was kind of like, okay.
even in it, it was a lot of character development for those characters. Some people can't be more than one thing,
Right, right.
talking to Morph, like
Oh my
powerful
God. Yeah.
character development, like Morph looking at him like, you ain't shit. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I love you, but I can't.
Morph
Power,
is another person who kind of disappeared by the end of the season. I mean, he
but,
showed
but
back up, but he was
right.
like, yeah.
But with
That
Morph,
what you're talking about was never followed up on. The relationship
Morph
between those
and
two.
Logan and that powerful moment right there, I got my claws back. He's got them, but him
Hmm.
having them, he just had them.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? It's like,
right.
I got them now. But that story didn't like, and I think that's the thing that I can say as I'm reflecting on it. It's just like, what happened to that part? What happened to that part? And it seems like you brought in a new story in the sense that okay, now Apocalypse is inside of Gambit. And he is not one of the horsemen, but he's like a puppet, like a
Yeah,
host
a
for
vessel. Yeah.
Apocalypse, which Parasite Apocalypse, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting, that's different. Um, but now the conversation is like, do we kill him or not? You
Mm-hmm.
know, do we take him down or not? And then I think this moment with Kurt, with Nightcrawler and Rogue, I like it, but I don't know if they like earned it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think
It,
so.
it feels
No.
like a really good idea that they tacked on at the end versus like the idea that they were building toward from the end of season one, the first 4 episodes of season two, and moving in to the end. It seems like, okay, we need another cool idea. Now let's develop this Polaris thing. Oh, let's also develop this, Bishop and Polaris thing. Or let's develop this Rogue Remy situation. So when we have this moment where Rogue goes into the whole apocalypse thing, how is that the Celestial? Is Celestial like, what you doing here? I don't know you like that. Who let you? What you doing in my house?
Right. Right.
Like, oh, hold on. You don't knock no more? Who
Celestial
raised
ain't know
you?
nothing.
You know what I mean? Like, you ain't
Yeah.
supposed to be here. Hey, who let her in here? You know what I'm saying? Like, supposed to just like, the hell you doing here? And
Yeah.
then Rogue like, I ain't leaving here without Remy.
Right.
So this new concept of like sacrifice, you got to give something to get something, survival of
Mm-hmm.
the fittest, like even something bad happening to your guy Remy is necessary for the greater good. But it
Right.
seemed like in that moment, Rogue was like, no, I disagree. And the Celestial was like, okay.
And by the time you got to the end of the season, it all felt cohesive. This felt like you got started with a story, you got kind of lost and distracted in the middle, building up other characters. Which, if I were to be the person in the room, I would say, well, why don't we save the Polaris build up and the Nightcrawler build up for season 3 and just finish the story that we started, and then we can start focus on building up newer characters in the next season. Because right now we've set up a lot with Professor X and Magnus and everyone else who was back in time, including Cable, Scott, and Jean. Why don't we finish that story, and then we can move on to creating a new team, a few new teams, in between season 3 and season 4, because that's a very season 3 and season 4 thing, right? A lot of shows that we watch are basically 2-season stories, and then in season 3 we start getting some changes. We start making some things happen that are very different from the rest of the show. Whether or not it works is a different story, but at least we have this cohesive 2-season story. Cool. At the end of every season of Stranger Things, at least the first 2 seasons, I'm like, you can end the show here. And then season 3 starts, and we basically start a brand new story, right? So
introduce new concepts, new characters,
yeah,
new mechanisms that help us understand how to continue to build on that. And yes, I get that kind of stuff. But here's the thing. There's an element of this that we do know. We do know that there was a changing of the guard with this show.
Right.
We're not sitting here wondering. We know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we know
that's accurate.
that
Yep.
the path was laid out. They were going in a certain direction. And because of decisions made by various parties and powers that be, they decided, hey, we're doing something different now. And now we're consuming a story that kind of, you feel the bumps in the road. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you can see where some of the seams are, where they patch things together and tried to put them together. And I think that, they still were able to make a great season of television, in my opinion. I still like it. I'm excited to go to see season 3. I'm down. I really like X-Men 97. I want more of it.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how they move forward with season 3, where they're able to go, okay, now here's a full season that isn't kind of like chopped and screwed. You know what I'm saying? And like quilted together with different ideas. Like, the first season was a full showrunner's concept that seemed like he was pushing into a next one. Season 2 is kind of like a couple different people trying to make the best of what they had. And now let's see what happens with season 3, when they're like, okay, here's a new direction we're going.
Yeah, it feels like the season that we got was, Bodemayo did the first 5 episodes, and then what happened, and now we have to figure out how to finish this thing. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying that that's the case. I don't know for a fact, but that's definitely the vibe that it gives. And if I'm being fair to them, it wasn't the worst season of television I've ever watched.
It was, you know what
I mean? I was entertained by the individual episodes and stories, but as a cohesive unit, it just didn't feel cohesive.
Right. And that's a really good, and I think even that is a really great compliment, to say like, hey, we know that some of this stuff didn't go the way it was initially planned, and it was still good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there was one bad episode in the season.
No.
You know what I mean? Each one of these, like, even if I'm just looking back at some of the episodes, like introducing Polaris, that's a great, cool new character. That is an interesting spinoff of Magneto. Hey, look what happened to your dad. You're just like him. How do you navigate and process living in the shadow of a figure, of a titan like Magneto? How do you become your own way? You were once an X-Men. Now you're over here with X-Force. Now, you know what I mean? Really, really interesting. And I think X-Men 97 is still doing a good job of taking the spirit of the X-Men, which is going, hey, human beings or mutants or characters that are in these different scenarios, we can see some of us in these characters. They reflect some of the concepts and experiences we're going through. Strangeland, Savage Heart, that one was really interesting. When Kurt was like, I ain't gonna kill you. You're lucky I know Jesus.
Yeah.
You're lucky I love him the way I love him. Boy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save you. Ooh,
Mm-hmm.
and you gonna do this to me in front of my friends after I saved you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm not gonna save. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm not gonna save you. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you
Right.
out and figure it out on your
Yep.
own. That
Yeah.
let me tell you something. That man of God was pissed. He was
Oh, yes.
furious. He was
Yes.
like, "I'm." He went home. He was like, "Lord, I am trying. I am trying.
Mm-hmm.
These niggas keep testing me. Like
Yep.
they keep playing with me, man. I'm trying to be godly. I'm trying to do what you want me to do. But after I just advocated for this man, he done blew this. Whoo, Lord,
How about my
help
man?
me.
Like, what was my guy's name? I forget. The leader of the Savage Land. I don't want to
Oh,
call
I
him a
forget
cult
his
leader.
name, but I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he he looked at Colossus like Colossus was about to make his decision. He was like, "Oh no."
Man, Colossus, what do you think? Colossus said, "Well, he's like, man, I mean, let me help you out
Right.
here. I got an answer for
Right.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he flew off the handle, and to find out at the end of the episode that Colossus was going to vote in the same way that he would have, and the fact that I don't disagree, like I can't disagree with Colossus and what the rest of them are saying because in this entire time, yes, Kurt, I understand you believe people can change. I believe people can change. I've changed, but they also have to show the willingness and capacity to do not capacity, but the willingness to do so. Like they're ready to do that, and if they're not, then you're just kind of you're being what's the word I'm looking for? You're being negligent in a
Naive.
sense. Yeah, naive, negligent, especially with someone like that who at the end of the season did end up becoming president, which is probably the most not the most interesting, but the only real cliffhanger that we have for
Mystique.
season 3 is the fact that he's president. Because other than that, like I said, they just ended the season. It's like
But we also
Nightcrawler's
got
dead.
Mystique though.
We
Did you
out.
see Mystique?
Oh,
At the-
Mystique, yes,
yeah.
yes, and she killed old girl. Now she was killed off screen. So I mean, you know the rules.
But
But yeah,
yeah.
but
She might.
she seemed
Yeah.
pretty dead. Right.
I mean, but it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward because, yes, maybe Strange Land, Savage Heart was them seeding season 3 to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's where we're going. This guy who actually hates mutants because he ain't one. And not
Right.
just because he isn't one, but because he was treated so poorly by his mutant parents. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? And now he's built this. It's interesting because it's like it's not a matter of, oh, you're right. I feel so bad for you. But there's a point where it's like, oh, I see how you get there. You're
Yeah.
still wrong, but I see
Yeah.
how you get there. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like, but you probably need to process this frustration and not take it out on all mutants. And we
Right.
understand very clearly what this is an illustration from. I had a bad experience with black people. Now all black people. I had a bad experience with fill in the blank. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
all these illegals, like all the, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody,
Yeah.
all of them, because I have interpreted and processed things negatively. Now, instead of this character dealing with the feelings, the emotions, and
Mm-hmm.
processing it, no, I'm going to villainize you. And everybody who
Right.
I categorize as like you, you're all the bad guy.
Yeah. And not
And
just
now I want
yeah.
to rise into power. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And now I want to preside over all of this. If this is where they're going in
Yeah.
season 3, it's like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
interesting.
It's an interesting
Interesting.
conversation for sure. And I think that's also interesting in his specific case that it's not just like any human that he had a bad interaction with. These are his parents.
His
These are people he's
parents.
supposed to look up to, right? In a
And they're
very
supposed to take care of you.
they're supposed to take care of you, right? And he had the scar, and Sabretooth is his dad. I mean, Sabretooth and Mystique are his parents. So, I mean, he was already
Yeah.
kind of dealt a crazy hand,
Yeah.
right? Whether or not if he was a mutant or not. I mean, Mystique threw Nightcrawler off the cliff into
Right.
the river. You know what I mean? Like these are the people that we're dealing with. It reminds me of Syndrome from Incredibles. He's looking up to Mr. Incredible. Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible spurns him, and all of a sudden, all superheroes are bad. You know, so
Right.
it's like it's kind of that situation where you're taking it out on everyone because the person that you really looked up to, like they say, don't meet your heroes. I mean, you can't not meet your parents in a sense.
But it's also,
But like, yeah,
yeah. It's also that these people have not processed through their grief, through their
Mm-hmm.
pain, through they haven't gone through these stages to really work through and digest all the stuff that they're going through.
Right.
So rather than go through, because it's hard, man. Like we all
It
have
is.
these terrible scenarios and situations, and it is tempting to be able to go, it's too much pain to deal with what's going on inside of me. I'll just lash out on you.
Yeah.
It's not fair. It's not right. And one of the sayings we say in our between us, it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility.
Yes.
You
Yes, it
know,
is.
yes, these
Yes.
bad things happen to you. Yes, it's true. This thing happened to you, and it's not your fault that this happened to you. Maybe, but you do still have a responsibility to process and deal with this stuff, and not just
Correct.
lash out and take it out on other people. And we
Correct.
see in stories like this what happens when you don't. And I guess we'll see in season 3, what happens. What are your predictions for season 3? What do you got?
Season three will be really interesting. I think that they have an opportunity to have a better season because, as we discussed, it could be more cohesive because it'll be not one voice, but one set of voices who are all on the same
One
page.
band, one sound is what you're saying.
One band, one sound, exactly. So
Hey,
I'm curious to see if Apocalypse comes back because if this is the end of
might be.
Apocalypse for the rest of the
Can
show,
be.
what are we doing, right? So Apocalypse has to come back, and I don't really have predictions because they really didn't give us a lot in terms of like they gave us a lot in terms of what they could potentially set up with the president and I
Mystique?
think that's and Mystique, right? Other than that, we don't really have a lot of like supernatural situations. We don't have much in terms of aliens coming. I think we've dealt. I mean, the show in its old uh, uh, version and its new has kind of dealt with the Phoenix, so we're done with that. Not that Phoenix can't come back because she always does,
Mm-hmm.
but so I really don't have
Hmm.
much of a idea of where they could go, and honestly, that kind of makes me excited because they have a blank slate. They really could do whatever they want to do, and I think that that's really exciting. Rather than having a situation where you have to finish somebody else's story, you
Yeah.
can start your own. So I really don't know where they're going to go because they've done all of the X-Men things. They've gone to space, they've gone to Savage Land, they've gone to Mojo World, they've dealt with Mr. Sinister, they've dealt with aliens, they've dealt with old mutants, they've dealt with time travel. These are all the X-Men things. So what else is there to do? Which is curious.
Couple things. One, I'm only going to just say this:
Mm-hmm.
onslaught. I won't explain
Okay,
it.
right. Yeah.
I won't explain it. For
Marvel vs.
those that
Capcom
are
2.
uninitiated, if you choose to Google at your own, that's your own call. But
Mm-hmm.
onslaught, looking
Yeah.
forward. Two, we got to deal with the fact that Kurt is gone. Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
We gotta. You owe me an explanation. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, help me work through that. And because we know these are feeling people, these are people with
Oh
thoughts
yes.
and feelings and emotions. They're not going to just go, all right, okay, so let's go ahead and grab a slice. Like they got to deal with that, the fallout of losing someone that's that important to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they'll probably. I mean, I'm hoping that they may go in this direction with the X-Men movie, but we've got House of X and Powers of 10.
That could be really interesting. That's a
So
that's a that's a large leap. That could
that's
be
a lot.
interesting. Yeah.
Again, I recommend, if you guys want to go Google that, read that stuff, you can if you want to. But
Mm-hmm.
very, 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 yeah. It'd be interesting to see if they gonna address that at all or deal with that at all, or if they're gonna do with that with the movies or with the cartoons or either way. But
Mm-hmm.
that's my predictions. I think
Yeah.
that's a good place to end it for this one, Ken.
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
Those of you that are watching and listening, if you're not subscribed to KRA-KOOM, do that right now. Hit the button, hit subscribe, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching. We are
Mm-hmm.
at KRA-KOOM on YouTube, KRA-KOOM. On all the rest of the other social media platforms, it's KRA-KOOM Media. I am
Mm-hmm.
Octavius was here, at Octavius was here, all over the socials. Ken, where are you?
I'm on Threads at It Could Be Kenny. I'm also on YouTube at It Could Be Movies as well, where you'll find me talking about all things movies and TV and so on and so forth.
All right, that's it for this episode. Please leave comments. Let us know what you thought of season 2 of X-Men 97. We want to know what you think. You can feel free to send us some mail at mailbag@KRA-KOOM.com, KRA-KOOM. Send us some mail, some stuff we can respond to back and forth. And that's it for this episode. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.